What's up guys, Mark from Emulators for PC here. In this video, I will go over the top trending emulators as of May 25th, 2019, which is the recording of this video. This video is probably going to be released in June or something like that. I'm just making assumptions. When I say trending, what does that exactly mean? Do people use the emulator? Has production on that emulator stopped? No, it's none of that. What I mean when I say trending is that there is not a lot of talk surrounding that particular emulator. Not many people are too eager for the next release. It's still always exciting when they make updates to that emulator, but it's not like major updates where a big first party game can go in-game for the first time. Please understand that I am not dissing any emulator out there. I'm simply saying that many people use that emulator and people support it, but there is not any big talk about the emulator. And the main reason why I am doing this is because 1, who the hell is going to stop me? And 2, I just want to go over the state of these emulators and how they progressed. I will go over these 2 emulators so that I am not overbloating the content. Before I talk about these 2 emulators, I just want to give an honorable mention to Cemu. You're probably thinking, the hell do you think you are? Cemu is a great emulator and everyone is talking about it. Cemu is a great emulator, I agree with you on that, but I feel like the hype has gone down. I honestly don't know what exactly made this happen, but I feel like not as many people are talking about this emulator ever since the middle of 2018, so like a year and a half after Breath of the Wild came out. Everyone was talking about this shit when Breath of the Wild just came out and you can play the newest Zelda on your PC, and then a year after that you can play 60 frames 4K. But now, since the emulator has been so great because you can practically play any big first party game on Cemu, it's not trendy anymore. My guess is that Yuzu, which, spoiler alert, it's in my list, caused this because Yuzu is an emulator that plays the current Nintendo console. Cemu was that emulator before Yuzu was released, but since the Wii U has practically dead and there's no games coming out for that system, people are looking forward to the Nintendo Switch emulator because it is the newest system out there. Therefore, they are not going to be looking at Cemu anymore because people want to know what's the newest emulator for the newest console, which is the Nintendo Switch. Guys, I am not trying to diss Cemu. I'm not trying to make fun of Exap or Peter Goff. They are excellent developers for Cemu, but I feel like the hype hasn't been high ever since 2017 and even early 2018 when people can play Breath of the Wild 4K 60 frames per second. And now there's not that many major updates in the incoming releases. So that's it for Cemu. So here's the 2 emulators that I feel like they are trending right now. Everybody's talking about it and looking forward to the updates for those emulators. So the first emulator that we're going to be talking about is RPCS3, the PS3 emulator. I've noticed more people are talking about this emulator in the recent months. The cause of all this is that more and more big games are booting. To name a few, The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, and Sonic Unleashed. But over the past year, RPCS3 has seen some drastic changes when it comes to fixing visual bugs and performance. Literally in most PS3 games, Red Dead Redemption, the Ratchet & Clank series, the Uncharted series, God of War 3, and much, much more have been greatly improved over the last year. And even The Last of Us saw some huge changes. This is RPCS3's 8th year, and it feels like now the ball is rolling. Constant releases are fixing performance and visual bugs. Some people are playing Persona 5 60 frames per second along with other games, so it is cool to see that not only of these games are playable, but also you can enable 60 frames per second. I could go on about so many games improving, but this would take a while to go over every single game. All these improvements made RPCS3 the hot topic. But it is not just that, because since there is no PS4 emulator, people are looking into RPCS3 than other Sony emulators, because it is the latest Sony emulator out there. I can't wait to see what's next for RPCS3, and I'm looking forward to it in the upcoming months. Let's talk about Yuzu. It's obviously going to be on this list. It's always in the headlines, well, not literally, but there are always discussions about Yuzu. The Yuzu team, which also happens to be the Citra team, managed to improve drastically over the past 6 months. Game after game are starting to boot first and third parties. A lot of games are now going in-game, and some being playable like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Puyo Puyo Tetris, ARMS, Bayonetta, and more. Of course, there is still lots of work to be done, but just how fast this emulator progressed is amazing. I'm guessing that in a year or two, we can play most first-party games at a locked frame rate, like Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, and Octopath Traveler. And who knows, maybe we can play Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate soon. The Yuzu team also made a lot of changes to the visuals in a variety of games. Super Mario Odyssey is one of them. You know, we are 2 years in since the Nintendo Switch released, and it's amazing that we already have an emulator that can play Nintendo Switch games pretty well, so make sure to keep an eye on them in the future. Those are the 2 emulators that are heavily discussed in the emulation community, RPCS3 and Yuzu. I cannot wait to see the future of these emulators. To quickly summarize the entire video, I chose RPCS3 and Yuzu as the trending emulators in 2019. Again, I am not saying Cemu, Dolphin, Citra, or any other emulator are irrelevant, but I feel like the most discussed are Yuzu and RPCS3. If I had to choose 3 though, Cemu would have been on this list, but I decided to pick 2, so that I can discuss the most trending emulators, and talk about how they have progressed and what they are in their current state. I don't know if there was a point making this video, but wanted to do something different and not do any gameplay videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more emulation coverage. See you guys in the next video.